Hello, kids. Welcome to another episode of Sunday School to Go. I'm Pastor Katie Jans, and I'm the pastor at St. Peter's Lutheran Church in Verona, New York. So, welcome. In this episode, we are going to be hearing the story of Peter and Jesus walking on water. And this is the first story that we have for the month of February. We're hearing a bunch of different stories about Jesus' life. And this is the one for today, called Walking on Water. And I'm going to read it to you from the Spark Story Bible, published by Spark House Press. All right, it goes like this. The disciples were just waking up on their boat. They had been out on the water all night. Stretch. Ugh. It was so early, the sun wasn't even up yet. Andrew rubbed his eyes and looked into the fog. "Hey," he whispered, "do you see what I see?" "Oh, it's a ghost!" James cried out in fear. The disciples were shaking in their sandals. They were terrified. Through the fog, they could see the outline of a person walking on the water. It was Jesus. "Don't be afraid, it's just me," Jesus said. He waved a friendly hello. "If it's really you, Jesus, tell me to walk on the water," Peter said bravely. "Okay," Jesus shrugged. "Come on out, Peter, the water is fine." Gulp! Peter swallowed hard. He placed one foot out onto the water. Plop! It didn't go under. He tried the other foot. Bloop! He was standing. He kept his eyes glued on Jesus as he took a few careful steps. He walked faster and faster. Splish, splash, splish, splash. Only his feet were getting wet. Jesus smiled at him. Peter felt the wind blowing on his face. He took his eyes off Jesus and looked up at the dark clouds. He felt afraid. Uh-oh, his ankles were wet. Uh-oh, his knees were wet. Uh-oh, Peter was sinking. "Help me, Jesus, save me," he cried. Well, here it says he yelled. "Save me, Jesus, help me." Jesus reached out his hand and pulled Peter out of the sea. "Why did you stop looking at me?" Jesus asked, holding tightly to his friend. "Don't you trust me?" The wind stopped. They climbed into the boat full of cheering disciples. "Hooray! This proves it," they said. "You really are the Son of God." From that day on, the disciples were excited to tell everyone they met about the power of Jesus. The end. Well, of course, that's just the end of that story. There are lots more stories about Jesus, and we have a couple more coming up in our next episodes. But for this one, you will see in your activity bag, which either we sent that to you or someone dropped it off at your house, you will find an activity in there that actually connects to this story. It actually is like a scene of this story with Peter and Jesus both walking on the water. So as you put that together, you can remember the story. You can think about how it must have felt, how Peter must have felt there on the water. At first, really happy that he was doing it and feeling very safe, and then suddenly feeling very scared. And you can imagine what it would be like to be one of the disciples, part of that story. So have fun with that. Have fun with your crafts. And we will see you next time in the next Sunday School to Go. Bye, everybody.